Hey gang, Sean and
Don.
Old.
You might remember me from the packaging of the OGD trailer.
Yeah.
And our Whistler video.
Yeah, you might remember Don.
Good to see you again.
Good job, Don. So, Don's my brother-in-law, by the way. And we are going probably the furthest we can across our state. So from the top northwest corner all the way to the far southeast corner into Idaho. And we got some fun stuff for this video. So Don is picking up a van just like this. Van. We're gonna have a caboose and an engine into all our caravans now when we go out and do it. And we're super excited. I might be more excited than Don because I'm just excited for the lifestyle.
I'm pretty excited
that he gets to offer him now. But in this video, we're going to show you Don's van, and then we're going to do for a new person, maybe interested in a Revel, some tips that you might want to consider that you might not know right when you get the van. So as an example, Don and I have been talking the entire time that we've been driving on the way here, and I've been telling him certain things about the van that he was unaware about. And so we're gonna, once we get his van, we get settled somewhere, we'll kind of recap those, and whatever you think is something, whatever Don thought was, I didn't know that, but that seems important, we're gonna highlight that. So stick with us, wish us luck, because until the title's in hand, it hasn't happened.
Yes.
But the seller's motivated, the buyer's motivated, everyone's motivated here. More to come, gang.
Looking pretty.
It looks pretty good here. Oh yeah.
Bubba.
Yeah. Look at that. A Revel. So look at that beauty.
She is pretty.
That is awesome, Don. Oh, it's good, 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 good. What's up, Boo and Topes? Boo and Topes.
It's my boo.
It's my boo. Don's first night. Don, how's the drive?
Us. Like driving in butter.
Butter. That's a Mercedes for you. We're gonna take it. We're gonna go to bed. It's been a long day, and tomorrow morning's when we're gonna do the what have you learned? What would you say for someone new? Anyways, more to come after that. We're gonna go to bed now. It's been a long day. Got a little accident here. Whoa. Yikes. Yeah, this dude lost his load.
Control with their trailer.
Alright, wanted to give everyone an update here. Don is behind us in his new van. Don and Brenda, I'm so happy for you guys. It's such a great van. You guys scored an amazing deal on that van. Don is grinning ear to ear. We're gonna make our way hopefully closer to Stevenson, Washington, and then we're gonna grab a bite to eat, and we're gonna sit down and talk about what he has realized as a brand new owner. We're gonna answer his questions together. We'll take you with us. Sean and Don here.
D-O-N Don.
D-O-N Don.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to do a little recap. So Don's had his van less than 24 hours. However, he's seen us use our van for a year and a half. Yep. So we have a 2022 Revel. You have a 2023 Revel, right?
Correct.
You have the 345 amp hour single battery. We have 3 batteries that equal 345 amp hours. I think that is the major difference here. And plus you got the new color. So when they took out our silver, this is the new color. What's this color called? Do you remember?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but selenite or selenite?
Selenite. How do you say it, guys? Selenite. He you know, Don's the type of guy that looks that stuff up. He's like, you know, it's a Greek goddess or something. Something.
Healing stones.
Healing stone, the selenite, something healing. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is what have you learned in your first less than 24 hours that you didn't know? So we went through, we could talk about from the chassis side back if you want. So,
well, this is the, to start with, this is the tallest vehicle I've owned and driven. So you really can't drive it like you stole it.
You can't drive it out.
On the roads that we've been on, because we're down in beautiful Columbia Gorge and it winds and twists, and there's a couple curves that you really need to slow down on.
You need to focus on. In fact, I came up a hill and he probably saw me accelerating up the hill. This is in the beginning, and he's like, whoa, that got me a little nervous. I'm like, yeah, you get to know your van. But yeah, they're definitely, it feels, I think it feels tippier than it really is.
It does. It's a lot more comfortable. This one does have Fox suspension on it. I think it's about a 2-inch lift or something.
Yeah, well, you know, you have the Falcon suspension.
Falcon.
He has stage 6, so he's got a 2-inch lift on it. Same as my van, actually. And so a softer ride as well. I would say, I think the OEM suspension on roads feels okay, but it definitely feels better with an upgraded suspension. So you do have that. What did you? So we've talked about a lot on the chassis thing, which can kind of be confusing. So what were some of the things that you were like, oh, from a new person, you would really want to know this?
We were kind of in a crunch. So take time to get adjusted before you hit a long drive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of little knickknacks that you got to learn about just in the driving part, typical chassis of any new car, with all the electronics. Other than that, I was able to really handle it. The Mercedes has got some weird shifting compared to the American-made stuff I've driven.
The one thing that I think is that I told you is different is, and everyone knows this, that in the forums, is that on the console there, your shifter's on your right and your fluid, your windshield wipers on the left, and the button on the right is how you park it. You push this button on the control arm to park it.
It's not going to spray fluid on your windshield.
It's not going to spray fluid on your windshield like basically every vehicle that most Americans drive. Usually the windshield wiper stuff is on this side, and it's on the opposite side here. Yeah. And also, before I tell you guys, we're in a warehouse area, so you hear some background noise. That's why my van's getting some work done right now while we're on this trip. So it's inevitable that someone, and I have done this probably a handful of times, been driving down the road, try to wash my windows, and the vehicle pops up saying, please do not try to park at this speed, right? So obviously it's smart enough to know not to, but it's still a little nerve-wracking. That's one thing. And then I think what do you think about the active lane assist and parking?
You know, I've got active lane on a couple of my cars, and it is a very mild vibration if I go over the line, and it'll kind of push you a little bit. This is a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, it brakes.
It brakes. It'll vibrate and flash at you, and so I just turn it off.
Yeah, I think that's like for anyone on this type of vehicle, you know what you're trying to do in a curve. So maybe you're trying to go with this curve and gain speed through it or whatever, and you're drifting a little bit over, but you have a plan. It's hard when you're doing that and all of a sudden the vehicle's like slams on your brakes and it just throws off everything. So you got to turn that off. I recommend you turn that off all the time. And definitely if you're off-roading, if you're actually in 4-wheel drive, you need to turn off the parking assist and active lane assist. Otherwise the vehicle will start to it'll try to protect you from thinking what you're trying to do, not realizing that, hey, I'm trying to get myself out of this sticky situation.
Yeah, and speaking of 4-wheel drive, this is kind of one of the things I'm glad I found this one, given it is 2023, it's technically used, but it only had 5,000 miles on it. But my understanding is they're getting rid of 4x4 and switching to all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive, yeah. And there's mixed bags on that. I've seen people with the all-wheel drives, and I mean, those vehicles go, they go a lot of places. And I think they would probably realistically go similar places as this one for sure. So anything else on the front? What do you think about driving this, first off? I mean, comfortable-wise?
It's very comfortable. Seats have got the lumbar support, very nice leather, very comfortable. Steering wheel almost feels like a racing steering wheel. Mm-hmm. It's got nice comfort grip to it. Everything's within reach. The one thing I have got to update is I've got the USB cables. They've moved them all to USB-C on the front chassis. There are the regular ones in the back, but...
That's a good point. Yeah, so USB-A is typically what most people think of when they kind of fatter, like that traditional USB. And everything on the front of the house is USB-C to whatever you're going to. So that's the smaller one. That's usually on Android. It's on the new iPhones, I think, too. USB-C now they're using, right? Thank God they made universal stuff, right? That's anything on the front that new people need to know. This is for like the new people, not people that already know that.
You know, I mean, if you haven't driven a van before, it's just something you're gonna have to
get used to. Yeah.
I mean, it's different than a car. It's different.
What do
than
you
a
think
truck.
about the Vista from the windshield with those A-arms? I think it's amazing. You know,
it is. You've got a great panoramic view. You're sitting about as high as a semi.
Yeah.
A regular.
We were looking at truck
Kenworth.
Yeah, we're just like, hey, you know, watching the guy talking on his CB.
Well, you can do that. You can drive by and try to give it a
Here's
honk.
a honk thing.
Oh, that's one thing. The horn in this is absolutely horrible.
Now, and I would say the horn in this is horrible, and I don't know if the upgraded horn is that great either. I have the upgraded horn in.
It does. It sounds like the little horns that were on those old carnival rides.
It does.
In the cars.
It really does.
I kid you not. That's what it is.
So you're thinking about the big truck horn now?
Yeah, the train, that or a train horn.
I think that would be amazing. A train horn would be amazing.
That's a mod that might be the first one.
So now it's unfair to a brand new Revel owner because he had a lot of upgraded stuff in here. He has the Inhabit floor system, which is amazing. If you don't have the Inhabit floor system, you're crazy. It's the best mod that you should get. It's the first mod you should get in your van.
And you can get it. They'll match the inserts of your drawers, your shelves, your cup holders.
All kinds of colors here that you could choose from. Like I have, my van has more mods than most, and this is still our favorite mod. And it was actually the last mod that we just, not the last, but it was towards the end. They were like, fine, we'll do it. Everyone else says we have to do it, and we're like, why did we wait so long to do this? Plus he has the upgraded mattress. I may be a little jealous of that with the sheets because we don't have that. We've been talking about this, so it's actually a good time for my Dawn, female Dawn, to come over here and check this out and say, is the juice worth the squeeze? But you said you slept really well last night.
I did. I slept really well, just threw a couple blankets on. I didn't even have the heat on last night. It was probably in the 50s and something.
Yeah, it stays warm. Yeah, it gets warm in there. Now, from the back of the house, so we're thinking back now, what surprised you? What questions do you still might have?
Well, like I said, even though I'm new, I've seen stuff with yours, so my questions aren't, and I've owned a trailer before, so I've kind of got a lot of the camping stuff figured out, but there is a lot of electronics I haven't had before. You've got your battery, which is nice, you can sync to your phone. You've got the water pump, you've got all the electronics. I mean, I haven't dinked around with this back here.
You got the macerator, yeah, you haven't messed around with how do you fill your system and how do you dry camp. We haven't even gone through that yet. Your dealer should go through all this too for you, just so you know. But overall, the layout of the van for you?
You'd think it would be a little crowded with that little walkway there, but it's you've got a lot of room.
You do, and I always say the van's a scene. For one person, the van's like no-brainer, right? You just do whatever you want. But when you're with your partner or whatever, it's shower time, it's cooking time, it's relaxing time, it's bedtime, right? Whatever it might be, and you kind of stage however that is. If it's cooking, you know, and Dawn's cooking, I'll be either in the back here or in the front, just getting out of her way. Same with that cleanup thing. If one of us are, you know, deciding to shower, we kind of and shower inside. We arrange inside. Everyone's showering now. We're getting our clothes out, stuff like that. So it works well. You kind of figure out like this interpretive dance of here's how we do things with two people. The biggest thing is maximizing the back or the system to work for however you want to.
And that's the dance we're going to be taking soon, because Brenda hasn't physically been in the vehicle. She's seen pictures. She got a virtual tour, but it's only been me in here.
Yeah. So Brenda, you be kind when you come in here. You be nice to Boo. That's the name of it.
That's Boo. We've named it Boo.
Or Bougie, by the way. Love it. I love it. Boo and Taupe. My van's called Topi for Utopia, right? So Boo and Taupe, we're going to be on the road having lots of fun. So what else in the back would you say? And we'll keep this simple. If you didn't have anything that were like any gotchas or something someone needs to know, anything. I put them on the spot.
I know. And that was
stage fright. I don't know what to do with my hands here. I'm not sure.
Basically, what he did last night, like I said, I had a little preview of what he's got, but
I gotta know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, he gave me a rundown how to prepare for the one night we've parked on the Columbia River. So I got a rundown on heating, water pump, kind of everything I just needed to survive last night.
Yeah. So let's
survive.
Survive. Yeah. Thrive, right? Let's talk about that. So common things on the system that are kind of confusing for people is don't keep the water pump on. Turn it on and off between use. Can you keep it on? Yes. If you keep it on, is it a big deal? Not really. However, you're putting pressure in the system, and depending on altitude, it could become a big deal. So if you follow my channel for any time and you saw us on the backside of Mount St. Helen, you'll realize that Dawn and I were female Dawn. Yep. We're sitting on the backside of Mount St. Helens in this remote boondocking spot. We had been there for a couple hours, and all of a sudden we just heard, and water is just dumping out the van. And I shut off the pump, and I'm like, well, the trip's not real, and we'll have to go get bottled water at some point, and we'll figure it out later. Well, once we figured it out, it was basically the pressure fitting on the OEM faucet, which is crap anyways, right? You're going to want to replace that. And it just popped off. Well, why did it pop off? Well, first off, not the best faucet. Second, I had the pump on. Third, I'm at altitude, which has increases the pressure. So all of those combinations just made it fail. So if you don't want that to fail on you in the worst time, I would just recommend turning it off and on. It's just good peace of mind. The other thing to know that if you do have your pump on and you start hearing it sip, that means you likely have a leak somewhere in your unit. And if you do, the first place to look is at your heat exchanger underneath your bench seat, because the fittings that go into this brass heat exchanger, I think it's brass, metal, are plastic fittings. And then you have your tube out here, and you imagine if you bouncing down the road, what's going to fail? It's going to fail there. And I hope they fix that. We haven't looked underneath your bench to see if they fix it. I don't think they have, but you have to switch them to brass, and almost everyone has to go through that I know of has gone through that journey.
Your initiation.
Yeah, your initiation to swapping things out. The other thing that I would say is on the controls for your heating unit, you have diesel, gas, you have electric. You need them both on. So if you're dry camping, you always have them both on. I don't know anyone that runs just the electric or just the diesel. You always put them both on. You have to have those on before you have hot water. So if you want hot water, you can't just hit hot water. You have to turn the two units on, which basically fires the unit up, then hot water. Hot water take about 15 minutes once you have the system going like that. So those are common things that you have to kind of know. The macerator, so the sink on the other side doesn't have, its drain is underneath the floor, and so to get the water to the sink water down into your gray water, you have to hit it in the macerator, which sucks that down.
Kind of like a garbage disposal.
Kind of like a garbage disposal. There are a ton of USB ports, a ton of power AC ports on these
120s,
vans. Yeah, 120, 220, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, we watch a lot of, well, we don't watch movies anymore, but we like to do like, 80s and 90s satire. How old are we? We are that damn old,
Yeah.
right?
In the comments, mention what movie that was from.
Yeah, I mentioned that movie here. You guys are like, what are these guys filming? We're just talking.
I was sitting there, I was like, hey, anybody know why we're on a podcast this morning?
Yeah, we're just reviewing his van here, brand new while our van's getting here. So we're doing tips and tricks.
That's cool.
You're like,
Well,
what?
I love I think this is probably my favorite scheme of theirs on the Revel.
Right, that's
Dark
what.
gray and the black, I love it.
See, look, guys. He knows. What's your name?
Ken. Oh,
Ken,
well.
Sean. Oh,
Nice
is
to
this
meet
your
you.
place?
Yes.
Oh, hell. I'll bring my vans here. It's the owner here. They're super nice. Yeah. Why are we on a
meet you.
podcast?
Yeah.
So I had the silver.
Yeah.
Don's got this new one now. And what we've joked about is like, damn, you got the color that we really wanted that wasn't available.
Yeah.
You got a better price than
Yeah.
us for the configuration because we bought ours when it was
Yeah.
top of the market, you know.
Mods are in it.
And he got all these mods already. So I'm like, dude.
Not fair, right?
Not fair. But I love it. I love it for him. I love it for the adventures and stuff. And
That's awesome.
I love it for the memories that he's going to have. So, well, thanks, man.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, we'll be out here just as soon as you guys get my van back.
Okay, hurry up.
Yeah.
You can go do this by the river or something.
That's right. Yeah. It was nice to meet you. All right.
And if you didn't catch that, he said the van down by the river.
He did say-
Comments what movie that one's
Van
from.
down by the river.
Or
yeah.
TV.
Yeah, TV. What show did that come from? Anything else that you like? What do you think of the bed? Like a lot of people have issues.
Well, I
with
can't
it.
compare it to what comes stock, but this upgrade of the Lux 6, I think it
Yeah.
was definitely a great upgrade.
And you slept okay. You felt comfortable.
I didn't touch either end.
Yeah.
Had a nice nightlight above there.
And how tall are you?
6 foot.
I used to be 6'1". I'm probably 6 now as well. And this is a nice space. To me, it's a nice space. It's a little cozy of two people. Love your partner, and you'll have a great time in there. Anything else that the new people like if you're on the fence with a Revel, anything else that they should do?
They should get.
Yeah, what that they should know from a new
well, I think this just goes in general for all campers is get yourself a routine when you're ready to set up and break down. One of the things I did is I left one of my side windows just open a crack. It was secure, wasn't flapping, but you got the wind noise. So get a routine of windows shut, vent shut, this is turned off, water pump's turned off, and do a walk around and then hit the road. That way we don't have to do an on-ramp and switch it.
So here's the other thing on the window stuff. They have like these little latches that you can secure a latch where it doesn't open but you have breeze. And then you see on forums like, I don't know why my window blew out. It failed. It failed because you had that thing open and it's not meant to have air like that come in with those gusts. It will fail and it will ruin your day. So make sure, like a routine is a good thing, right? So I go through and I know what I'm doing on my van. I look at my windows. I walk the perimeter of the van, check everything, make sure it's all secure before I go in. Everything's powered off, and then put in its place. And you'll get better with that as you leave because, you know, like you don't have a whole lot of things in here, right? Basically, you don't have anything in it yet. You have a bag. But once you have things in it, as people know, pots and pans and whiskey bottles and certain things and stuff like that, you know, your clothes, you got to get that all stowed away before you go. But, like, this morning, you were ready to go right away.
Yeah, it was an easy pack.
Yeah, you were done. And I turned around, Don's just sitting in his van like, hey, we ready to roll out here? So, me. Now, you already have mods. Let's just talk about what do you think are your first, I'm putting you on a spot on this, I didn't tell him I'm going to do this. What do you think might be your first 5 mods that you are thinking about, and why are you thinking about it?
So first, one of the mods I'm looking at is I don't know if it's one piece, but there is a backdoor ladder and spare tire cover. The spare tire is under here. The previous owner did do a mod, so it's a full-size matching 5th set.
275, so just under 33 inches.
So getting under there and trying to get it out, if I need it, is going to be a pain in the butt. So I want to move that outside on the back. I would like to get a box for outdoor storage. Front brush guard would be nice. I don't know if I need a winch right now, but have it set up for a winch.
Two more.
I
I haven't heard anything on the inside. Brenda has no say in this apparently. Brenda's
no,
like,
she's
yeah, she's like, I got plenty of say in it, Sean.
No, the 5 mods will probably go inside before I can put anything on the outside.
I mean, you have modified bench, you have modified bed, you have modified floor. There's a lot in here already that you have modified.
Yeah. I think I showed. This one comes with the Canyon Adventure Van.
You had a modified
curtain.
table. Yeah.
Yep, the table, but it's got the curtain, the drop curtain that separates the front from the back. I think they have what called a Showtime Curtain,
which I have.
So I think we're going to go ahead and go with that one because this will drop right behind the seats. So you lost 2 seats if you wanted to
spin it around.
Bring that in, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's just kind of weird to me. So the Showtime Curtain goes from the cab to the rear of the seat. So if you have your chairs turned around facing the back, which is what you usually do when you get somewhere, the Showtime Curtain tucks in nicely behind those seats and you have a barrier. This new one, or this other one that they have, just basically drops behind the seats, and so you lose that seating, which I just don't know why. Why did you do that? I don't know. It doesn't seem good, but that's definitely something you got to change out. But you can use the OEM shades, which you have here, which is what you used last night, and no big deal.
And then I think the 4th is I've got to work on some sort of mounting system for cameras, CB, radio, and that. So I'll be looking at.
You'll have to see how much he wants to. It's hard when you spend this much on a vehicle to go ahead and start tearing apart the dash to start doing stuff. So I have the Expedition Essential mounting cluster on top, which it's a process to get on, and it took. I didn't do that until this summer. I had all kinds of different mounts. You can actually use my other mount if you wanted to. Use those weird cup holders. I give it to you. It's all sitting there.
That might be something to do.
Yeah,
and it's RAM mount, right?
It's all RAM mount. It's ready to go. It's free, and you can figure out how you want to do it. So there you go. I got it figured out for him. But he might want to switch to what I have later after he starts using things for a bit. But I mean, that works just fine. It just might bounce.
I'm going to look at your van and see what's on there that I was thinking of. But I think that's kind of the first one.
Yeah, and he talked maybe one day about a roof rack.
Oh yeah.
Those are bigger purchases. If you get a roof rack, in my opinion, we live in the Northwest. We're right by Bellingham. You got to get a Tanner roof rack. They're awesome, locally made. Drive your van right in. 4 hours later, you drive out. In fact,
put some lights on.
Yeah, last time I went, when I had my roof rack, I actually worked in my van for the day as they were doing the work. So they were up there putting it all on, and I was working in my van and loved it. So, anything else?
I think that's it. This is a good start on a van.
It's a great start on a van. Now, you were originally thinking about getting a Jeep Gladiator, going a different way.
I was thinking of a Jeep because I figured, I could throw on. He's got a OGT trailer with a rooftop tent, so I figured we go out with him. We do that, but you hit 51 years old, climbing off a rooftop tent in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times isn't fun anymore.
Especially if you try to go out every other weekend.
Yeah, and I got to the point where, this van is basically the size of a pickup, so it can be a daily driver for me. So I decided to go against the Jeep. Would have been my 5th Jeep, but I think this is the better decision. Yeah,
I think so too. Our commute's like 3 miles in our town, where we live right next to each other. It's like, we're gonna have a lot of fun. So 3 miles to his office, about 3.5 miles to my office. Van works great for that. And I think the van probably, if we're being honest, between a Jeep and the van, I think the van would probably get better gas mileage, especially if you lifted that Jeep and put bigger tires on it.
I'd have to start from scratch with all the mods on that.
Start from scratch on that. So for anyone on the fence with a van, here's my thing. If you can afford it and you know that you want to go do it, like I'm going to go out there and do that, do it. The thing that you have to be prepared for is you need to be good at knowing your van. So if you're like, I got this awesome warranty from Winnebago or whoever you bought it from, no. All those fixes you're likely going to have to do. Why? Because the schedule to get it into your whatever warranty thing is going to take 6 months. That's 6 months of not using your van. And let's face it, you want to use your van all you can. And if you're taking it off-road, if you're going in the backcountry, shit's going to happen. So the better you know your vehicle, the more prepared you are in those situations. That doesn't mean you're dropping an axle in the backcountry. That just means you know how your van works, where the water lines are, where the shutoffs are. Geez, if I have to fix this, what are my alternatives if I don't have water? Well, the alternatives is get jugged water, right?
Yep.
So you just have to go with the flow in van life.
I get it.
Yeah, go with the flow.
On a water statement.
That's
Nice.
right. Yeah, thanks.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, thank you. With that, guys, Sean and Don out. We're both going to be on the trails now, so we both hope we see you on the trails. Please comment below behind this. And we got some funny stuff that we're going to insert here. Hopefully, I already inserted the funny stuff in, but we haven't recorded the funny stuff yet. We'll do that later. So the funny stuff is going to be recorded later, but I'm going to insert it earlier. Now you're watching at the end, so it's going to be really confusing, but you get it now.
Or they'll go, I did see that funny stuff.
I did see that stuff, yeah. Till next time, guys, I hope Sean's Don, and Don's Brenda see you guys on the trail. Till next time, gang. Peace out. Well, scratch that, gang. We didn't have any fun outtakes. Remember how I said, hey, if you're going to get into van life, you just need to expect the unexpected and go with it? Well, would you believe, as we were heading home, I picked up my granddaughter. We were going to run home so we can go out on our first trip with Don and Brenda, which, as you can see, we did make it out there with them. But all of a sudden, I got this check engine light come on my van, and it went right into limp mode. So that means it wouldn't kind of go over 40 miles per hour, and you barely had any acceleration. And I thought it might be the EGR valve, because I have heard that is an issue, and after doing some research, that's what everyone recommended to do. So I quickly bought some tools. I watched a few videos. It was hot because I just got back recently. I was just about ready to leave, and but I got it clean, got it all put back together, and we were on our way. And so I didn't really plan on filming these trips with Don and Brenda. We went on actually 2 trips out by the Hoh River here. But here's some random outtakes from those trips there. It was beautiful out there, just our first time getting away. We did have a lot of fun with them later on, which you'll see, so you'll have to like and subscribe. We have a fun van meetup that we went on from our new Facebook group that we have. You might have watched that whole kerfuffle that we had in the other group, and if not, you want to go back and watch those videos, because what a nightmare that was. But I have to say, we have a really cool group of people, and I'm really excited to hang out with those people that we've met. So we have a video coming up here soon where we'll show that meetup and stuff. And until next time, guys, I hope we see you on the trails. Oh, Don talked me into filming this trip. I wasn't going to. Nope, we got to do the trip now. So we have ventured out in the rain, because there was a lot of wildfire smoke where we were, I found a beautiful spot on the Hoh. Don and Brenda came with us. Say hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Yep, on cue. And we are all alone here. It's been pouring down rain. But check this out. Beautiful now. And Donald here is seasoning his new scuttle. We're gonna have some burgers and eat out. We've been inside all day long, but he's got to season it first.
Got our scuttle.
Out of scuttle.
Over a year in storage.
Yeah, he's actually had that and a Dometic table he had for a year in storage, and then they thought their van dream would not come true. It did. Yeah, and check this out. Check out that tree over there. Man, these colors are gorgeous. Anyhow, it is beautiful. So I'll film a little bit here and we'll put this together somehow.
Can I just tell you one thing I'm really enjoying so far about traveling with friends? Is that they make you nice drinks
That is nice.
in the middle of the afternoon, and then they just bring it over. It's just really nice.
That is nice. All right.